Okay, hello. We are Memorable Candles, and we are an online candle business. I'm Isaiah, that's Henry, that's Willie, that's Kat, Elizabeth, Ulan, and Shushila.
Market. First, there's going to be a specific example of who's our ideal customer.
Meet Tim. His parents divorced at the age of 5, and his dad couldn't support his children, so he wasn't able to live with his father. And the only time he could see his father was during Christmas, and the smell of peppermint bark and pine always reminded Timmy of his father, because at age 24, Timmy's father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Well, when Timmy was 24, his father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, so the smell of peppermint brings him back to the time of his father.
So who is our market? Our market can be the businesswoman who's always on the go, has meetings after meeting, the bookworm who just likes to stay at home and read a really good book, the guy who's always with a different woman each and every week, and the guy who never has a reason to smile. Who's it not for? Essentially, it's really not just for babies. The reason why is because they cannot express their memories, and they really haven't had life-changing events that they would like to have a candle help remind them of their memories. So why do people want to buy Memorables candle? Well, it's easy access. We originally started on an app, and from research, 58% of Americans own a smartphone. So there's a large market already out there for us. And 42% of Americans own a tablet. And from this graph, it's kind of small, but it's predicted that by 2016, $31 billion will be spent just for mobile shopping, and that's excluding laptop and desktop usage. This is an example, a screenshot of our app. This highlights like the biggest characteristic of our company, and it's that it's customizable. So you have colors that you can choose, and there's a lot more, of course. And there's scents that you can choose. And up here, you can type your story, so we can kind of make the candle around that story. And then here are some of the brands that would help run our app, which is Apple, Samsung, Windows, Droid. Also, it's a good cause. 15% of each candle purchased goes to Alzheimer's research. Now, why Alzheimer's research? Well, it's the 6th leading cause of death, and by 2050, America is estimated to spend or at least $1.2 trillion on just aiding, because there is no cure, nor is there no prevention or a method to help slow the process of Alzheimer's. Now lead us to design.
So, our design started out a little differently, because originally we decided that we wanted to do soap, and we wanted to do baby got bubble soap. So our original design was a baby and it was bubbles around it, and then when we came up with candles, we talked about it, and we had this great idea of preserving memories, so that's why they're in mason jars. So, preserving memories, right there. So, basically, the design of the candle is pretty simple. It's a mason jar, and then we have twine wrapped around in a bow, and it has a sticker saying, "Memorables Candles, taking me back down memory lane." Yeah, so it's pretty simple, and it's something, it really represents warmth and like memories and home kind of feeling. So basically how we got here is we took our survey. We had a lot of questions, thanks to Megan Conklin, and she just like told us that we should really be thinking about our customers. So we gave them 4 different scents to choose from: peppermint, grapefruit, remember, and orange. And from what we saw, as you can see here, grapefruit and peppermint were the winning smells. People said it jogged their memory of Christmas and summertime, so that's what we went with. And then over here, we kind of combined these because we thought, okay, well, when we think of grapefruit, we kind of think of a pink color, or when we think of peppermint, we think of greenish blue. And as you can see, pink was the winning color, and so we paired that up with grapefruit. So this is how we got this. So start that, and here's this one.
did branding. Pretty much, so what's good about our whole product is that it's easy and quick, and we hope to offer as quick delivery as possible. And it's custom, you can choose from hundreds of different colors and scents to get the custom candle that you really want. They also make great presents for Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's Day, anything that you want to give presents for. And you can make a difference in your community by donating to Alzheimer's research by buying a candle. What makes people feel good about themselves is often volunteering during the holidays and donating to certain places that they want to help out. So yeah. How we got our name was kind of the idea of memorable times and candles, so memorables candles. I designed the logo. It's kind of simple. Sorry, it's legible because it's really big and blurred out. But memorables candles slogan is taking you back down memory lane. It's easy to remember. Simple, clean, yeah. And this is our visual library. It has some of our colors and scents that we offer. Yeah.
Okay, so group dynamics. So the advantages were like sharing work, helping each other out. Like if one didn't have time to finish part of the lab, we could help them by like trying to finish it for them, and sharing each other's ideas. There were challenges. A lot of people disagreed on stuff. There were like, it was hard to finish because there were a lot of people who were doing extracurricular activities. There was like, it was harder to communicate because of the method. And then,
In conclusion of all the hardship we went through, the week went by, we started to step up on our work and effort put into it. And when doing that, we started to focus on our stuff, what we did, project. And the communication was so at the beginning, but we made a Google Doc style where each person had what they wanted to do, but like when everybody checked on what needed to be done, if a person didn't do that, other team members could help them out. And in class time, we did a lot of communication with each other in person to person instead of texting, because texting sometimes their text didn't check. And that's about it, and we improved it throughout the time.
Okay, so I had the opportunity to do financials in the group. So I'm just going to talk to you about our business model. But first, our project goals were to create a sustainable business model, give back to the community, establish brand image using memorable scents, and make a difference, be creative, and having fun. So these are the key elements of the business model. We established our price at $25 a candle. And that may seem like a really high price. You may be wondering, why would I pay $25 for a candle? But looking at our competitors, we saw that we had what they had plus more, because you're able to customize candles online and on the go. So we feel like that gave us an edge. We have an 80% profit margin, which is our cost divided by our price. We're contributing 15% of our profits to Alzheimer's research, so that also gives us a little bit of an edge over other companies. We started our volume at 10 candles per week, and then every week increased 1 candle. So by week 15, we were producing 22 candles. So our net profit grew from $170 to $346 by week 15. So this is just a graph that explains the revenue and profit trends. So as you can see, the total revenue is growing as the gross profit's growing, and then the net profit grows and decreases as we buy and make candles. So in conclusion, we have a sustainable business now, we're committed towards Alzheimer's research, and we make lots of sense through our sense.
Let me jump in real quick if you don't mind. So I think it's a good presentation. Like all presentations, if you spent some more time practicing, it would be a lot better. You know, the jump from Henry's idea into cats, there's a real nugget for something awesome to happen there. It didn't quite happen this time, you know, because it wasn't quite clear how the story connected to the idea of a memory until a little bit further down the line. I think the biggest challenge for this particular group in terms of moving up from the next level is, like, you got an idea, you can make candles, they smell good, but bridging the gap between, okay, you know, we can make candles, to we are a customizable business where people are going to come to us is a really big jump. And I'm not clear on the presentation right now how you're going to do that, because in particular I'm seeing, for example, the app that says, tell us your story and then pick a couple colors. And I don't get the connection there. You know, like, in my mind, this might work. There's a movie that came out, it's called Her, and I don't know if anybody's seen it, but the beginning of Her has this guy, and what he does for a living is he writes stories as if he's somebody else. So somebody calls him and he's like, you know, I want you to write a letter to my girlfriend about this. And he actually takes on a different persona and writes a letter. And there's a value there, I can see that. What I'm concerned about for you guys is, you can make candles, you're going to say we're going to start selling them for $25, but there's a big jump between throwing that out there and proving that you can capture a memory in a candle. And I'm worried about how you would make that jump. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, so kind of the idea of our app is to type in the story and then kind of associate the colors and scents that go along with that memory. And then from there, the people that are working and making the candles are going to take that information and combine it into their memory. And so we're thinking down the line, we could either hire people who are experts with Alzheimer's patients and even like psychologists that understand how the brain works and develops, and have them help us come up with the candles that really makes that memory true.
So I think that needs to get integrated into your business presentation.
Okay.
And I also think there's a lot of risk there. You know, that there is you're talking about investing big bucks on the front end for something that might or might not work. And an investor, I would want to have you recognize that and have a plan for minimizing that risk as much as possible. My thoughts. Sorry.
Oh, no. One of the things on your, I would have liked to see consistency, just from a purely packaging standpoint, see consistency between what you showed on your screen as far as what the package you're making was going to be, to the one that you passed around in class, just for consistency of the presentation. The other thing is, I think we can do a lot more with your label, given that it's customizable. I'm thinking of things like 1-800-Flowers, Shutterfly, where people go online and they, you know, customize their gift. I think you could do a lot with your label, since you're getting somebody's story and it's coming from somebody made for somebody else or for themselves, that you could add part of that customizability to what you said.
You want to share?
So if people go on the app and they enter their story and they pick a color and scent. So what do you think is stopping people from, okay, so someone goes on the app and they say, I want a candle that smells like lemon and it's blue. What is stopping people from going out and finding someone else's candle that smells like lemon and is blue for less than $25? What significance is actually typing the story have?
It just kind of makes it more personal. I don't know. I guess the idea is to like have a memory that you want to recreate. It's not just like I want a candle that's blue and smells like lemon. It's like I want to have this memory of like being in the summer and like.
But how do you apply that memory into the creation of the candle? How does that come through aside from just them deciding what scent they want to color?
I mean, it's all in the customer, really, because we don't know exactly what they're thinking in that memory. I mean, they can tell us, but it's not how we can put it in, it's how they're gonna perceive it, and if we can help them by adding a certain scent that they remember from that special time, their memory is gonna do the work that it needs to do.
But if it's how it's perceived, then what's the difference between your candle that smells like this and someone else's candle that smells the same? If it's all in me, then why should I even buy the candle in the first place?
Because it's easy.
Our
I
market
mean-
is putting out there that we have a company that you're able to customize a candle based on your memories. So people who are out looking like, just say someone's like grandpa had Alzheimer's and he wanted to like have a memory kept by that person, then they could go, we provide a website to go and do that. Now, if someone just wanted a candle that smells like lemon, yeah, there's gonna be tons of other candles out there. But the unique thing about our company is that it's there to customize it to your liking.
Yeah, but that's the same exact thing. We can get a candle for like $5 with that scent.
Also, if I'm actually concerned about Alzheimer's, why don't I get a candle for $5 and don't get a 22 Alzheimer's?
What did not happen on the design is that actually on the candle, there's supposed to be a small picture or actual thing that has to do with that memory that you wrote up. Like, let's say it was graduation, it would have graduation 1995. It would have that physically on there rather than just having a candle that smelled like blueberries and did not have anything to do with that. Like on the actual design, and I just apologize that it wasn't on the PowerPoint, it would have an actual image or written description of that memory on the candle.
Okay, like, I still don't see how that justifies paying so much more money, but I think
So I don't want to like continue the first thing or not, but with your starting price of $25, it's expensive, but you have a cool idea behind it. But how are you going to get, like, I think your idea is cool, but it'll be hard to get people to like start buying into that. So how do you plan to like make up for all the price and to get people to start buying to get your like audience?
Well, we were able to donate 15% of our profits to Alzheimer's research because the price is so high. So I feel like that gives it an edge, plus it's customizable and you can order it all offline. Our competitors, there was a candle that was priced at $23 and gave 15% as well, but they didn't have the unique market to customize it. So I felt that because they were able to customize it, just paying a few dollars more for that, and then we have that money to like buy new fixed costs. We have the ability to donate 15% to Alzheimer's, so it just gives us some money.
So, I think you guys started out really well. I like the idea of kind of having the story about Timmy and all that. It's Timmy, right? Okay. And I'm trying to think and like, you know, go off of what Elijah's saying and think about a particular scenario. And mine is like, I sense our, like, we have memories along with smelling certain things, and sometimes we can't explain them. So I'm going to give you guys an example here. I'm very close with my mother, and let's say she was no longer around anymore. One of the memories that I would probably, or one of the smells that I would associate with memories from her would be the original REI that was down here in Capitol Hill once upon a time had this smell to it that was very distinctive. It was almost like a skunky smell. Not a bad skunky smell, but weird enough that when I smell a skunk, that's the memory I go back to. And it happens every time.
Your grandma.
So, yeah, right. So I could be outside, I could be driving through the woods or whatever, and I smell a skunk, and that's the memory I go back to. So I come to you guys and I say, hey, like, I want a smell that smells like a skunk but doesn't make my house smell like a skunk. I want those memories, right? So I'm kind of explaining, like, you know, this is what I'm trying to recreate. How can you guys help me do that? How would we go about, like, that exchange? Because I don't feel like typing a, you know, I want a candle that smells like a skunk like the old REI used to smell like. I want it this color and this scent. Like, I don't think that that's going to, I don't think you're going to be able to customize it for me. But if I'm paying $25, I'm like, I want you guys to work with me somehow. So where would we go with that?
Well, since we started off an app, there's definitely going to be a huge online presence, and today social media is huge. So we would definitely have other opportunities for you to contact us, whether that's a Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, there would definitely be, and also just the phone, you know, or an email. There would definitely be different ways to contact us, and I think that would just be on our part to be very dedicated to our customers, to work with you and not just ignore you.
Because you are paying $25 for a candle, and so we don't like just throw that out, like we work with you until we get.
Right, but this is like a distinctive smell that doesn't fit into your stuff, right? So like, is there a way that I could be like, you have tests or samples or something, you'd be like, you can send me a bunch of like scratch and sniff or something that I can
That'd be
like, oh,
really
this
cool
is
to
what I want.
Put into our future goals, like to have that ability to do that, that's.
It's also, you gotta think about how you make that, so it's not a lot of work for him, because that sounds like a lot of work for him right now.
So with words, describe what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, but he's not gonna do that, unless it's easy.
So you said that you would have your candles be delivered and like shipped to you guys. Would you have anything in stores at all?
Well, to have some mall presence, because we know that people, like when they go and shop for gifts for family members for different holidays, they go to the mall to find that. And so we would have an idea of setting up kiosks in the mall. So it has a mall presence, so you see like, oh, customizable candles, and you go to the kiosk and you can do the same thing like you could do on the app and online at the kiosk.
But mainly it would be like delivered to you.
Yeah.
Would it cost extra for shipping, because that could bump it up to like $30 and then it'd be really expensive?
I think having the candle, so I didn't really put that into the whole financial thing, I didn't. But I think that there would be a way to do free shipping without, because it's so expensive right now.
So, not to harp on the financials, but one thing I was wondering, so I think it's a really cool idea to have a customizable candle, this idea of memories, and it seems like a market you guys could tap into would be like weddings or baby showers or memorial services or things like that, where memories from those are very significant and people want to give out something that's going to help you remember those. If I was setting up any one of those events, $25 would really be a turnoff for me, because that would mean I'd be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars of candles. I'm curious, I can't remember if you guys said how much the actual cost of the candle was for you guys. I would imagine around $4 or $5 is usually what candles are. If it's $25, so that's $20 different, and if only 15% of your profits is going to Alzheimer's, which would be a couple dollars, I'm wondering where all that other money is going.
It's going towards paying off our fixed costs, so then we can expand our business and then like eventually hire other people that can help us make the candles.
And free shipping.
And free shipping, yeah, so some of that money goes towards shipping as well.
Yes.
So,
So you guys are saying that you're giving free shipping. Are you guys gonna pay for the shipping, or how are you gonna?
It's in this one.
It's in $25.
Free shipping is when they pay for shipping.
So you guys are paying for it,
It's not like a magic position.
Yeah.
so you're saying 15% is going to Alzheimer's, and then you guys are paying for shipping?
Yes.
So how much profit would you actually make?
Well, going back to the graph, right there. Okay, so, I didn't put the shipping in here, but there's definitely room for shipping if we wanted to lower, how much we're paying a week to pay off our fixed costs. So with the net profit, like, we pay off our fixed costs, so it goes up. So yeah, it would just change the numbers a little bit, but we'd be able to do that.
and also about what Laura was saying was like, kind of do a Costco kind of thing. If you want like a mass amount of candles for a certain event or something, we aren't gonna have you pay $25 for each individual candle. It's kind of like mass production will cost less, right? Yeah.
Thank you. So I have a couple of questions now. This seems like it is gonna be super labor intensive and cost a lot of money, like right off the bat. So you're gonna outsource this to like India or something, like to get all, because you have to like make, it's not like you have the candles pre-made. You have to wait for them to give you the order, then you make the candle. And that can be very labor intensive. So how do you plan to do this? Also, how do you plan to get your app out there? Because the App Store has like billions, more than billions of apps on it. So why would I download an app that allows me to get $25 candles sometimes?
Well, it's definitely it's definitely starting small, so we wouldn't necessarily do a lot of marketing and pay for commercials, like national commercials or ads in the newspaper. It'd definitely start out small. I think it would be more of a personal approach. And with that personal approach, the more money we receive, the more employees we can have. Outsourcing to India, I haven't really thought that far down the road, but I'm not really for outsourcing.
Okay, then how do you plan to cover the cost of having to have multiple people? If you intend to make this big, because it seems like a company that has to be very big in order to succeed, how do you plan to have people grab all of these individually and then put them in? That's kind of what it seems like you have to be doing for this, that's their whole theme going on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe from the feedback that we're getting from everyone, we could lower the price a little bit and start off smaller and then gradually get bigger. But I just think that our market is towards Alzheimer's patients and older people. So it's not, the market isn't necessarily towards teens and stuff. So I think that if we get our idea out there through marketing and everything, I think that if we could start off with $25 a candle and get us started, then we'd have a lot more room to grow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm going to cut you off because I want to get a couple more people in. Your point is across, it's clear. So let's get Jesse and Haley and Macaulay, and then we're going to end it.
So, my question is...
You already asked.
If you,
I know.
so people send you a letter saying what they want. So obviously it's really difficult to get, they do explain to you, but it's hard to explain the smell or scent. So my question is, what action would you take if the consumer was not happy with the product or the smell? Because since you're the one recreating the smell, not them, you don't know exactly what they want. So if it's not to their liking, what action do you take? And also, if you can't help them out, would that turn off other possible purchasers? Just because buyers, because you couldn't fulfill someone's memories.
So what's the first question again?
The first question was, what action would you take if you failed to give them the scent they were hoping for memories?
Well, I think because the price of making a candle is so low, it wouldn't hurt financially to give the customers their money back. It just means that the 15% of profits wouldn't go towards Alzheimer's research. So it financially for the company, in the variable costs, it wouldn't hurt significantly.
How much is it exactly to create the candle?
It's $4.82.
And then the second question was, do you think that would turn off other buyers if word spread that you couldn't recreate the smell? Would that make other people think, oh well, if they can't come up with, or even a less intricate smell, if someone can come up with, you guys couldn't come up with that, is it possible that you could come up with someone else's memory or someone else's scent, and then they would have less belief or trust? Would it turn off other buyers if you couldn't create someone's scent and buy it?
No, because every company, there are always returns. You can buy a shirt and decide that you don't like it and return it. But that necessarily doesn't hurt the business itself. Yes, they lost money. But we would try our best to create that scent. We wouldn't quit. It wouldn't just be a one-step process.
But if you could, how would you explain to them that you couldn't create their scent? How would you connect to them and tell them, I'm sorry, we couldn't do this?
Well, we can always try to create the scent, but if it's not the scent that they hoped for, then they can return it. But we would never just give up, be like, oh, we can't do this. It's we'll put in our best effort to try to create your memory, and if it's not the memory, we'll give you your money back.
Yeah, let's get Haley.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask, how did you really create your candles? What kind of products did you put into it, like crayons, wax?
We had 100 grams of wax, and we melted it down. Then we used usually a whole crayon, a certain color, or if it needed multiple colors, you could use different colors, then melted those, and then added a fourth milliliter, or a fourth milliliter of scent, and then added that into the mix, and then put that into a mason jar.
So I was just wondering, what's like your burn rate and like how long will that candle last? And then like, I don't know, if you have to recreate the scent every time, like our candle is about that size and it would probably last like maybe a week, but like you probably don't want to have the candle and its memory for only a week. You probably want more. It's like, how would you do with that, or like, would you want bigger candles?
Maybe in the future it would be cool to look into bigger candles, but for right now, I think a smaller candle is good to start us off with. But yeah, I think I like the idea of making the candle bigger over time. But we can also keep like what we did on file, so it's like if you wanted to buy another candle, you could be like, oh, this was my order from last time, and then we recreate the candle and have that on record. So it would be starting from scratch.
So since it's not starting from scratch, would you still make your pay $25, or would you lower the price after that? Because I feel like then after that you're not actually doing labor to like hit cent.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, I think it would be good to look into seeing how the company can handle that financially, but.
And then what's your burn rate? That was the first question.
Well, I only did it for like minutes, not really long period of time, because we didn't really exactly have that much when people took the candles in for surveys, and so I really don't know.
So like how much per minute did it burn down?
Like 3 and 2. That's the only time I did it. But like minutes.
How did it burn down?
Oh, sorry.
So like each minute, how far did it burn down?
I'm not sure the exact measurements, but I remember being able to smell the candle for even after it was burning. It's a good aroma, and it didn't burn too quickly. It wasn't too big of a mess either, because it's in a jar.
Okay,
It's not.
Megan, I don't know if you had I have one more thing I need to do today, so.
No,
Okay, so let's give them a round of applause.